Welcome back to our third module of virtual piano lessons. During this lesson, we'll learn about a topic called dynamics, which tells us how loudly or how quietly we should play. We'll also learn some more notes on both the keyboard and the bass and treble clefs, which will allow us to play our first scale, the C scale. Let's get started. First, let's do a review exercise. Like always, I'll show the music on the screen and you can take a second to look it over, and then we'll count and play it together twice.
1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, ready, and.
So right now, when we look at music, we know which notes to play and how long to play them for. But how do we know how loudly or how softly we should play? This concept is called dynamics, and there are a few different symbols that are used to signify the loudness of playing. The two main symbols are the letters P and F. P stands for piano, which is the Italian word for soft. F stands for forte, which is the Italian word for loud. These are the foundations for all other dynamic symbols between loud and soft. Let's go over them now. MP stands for mezzo piano and means moderately soft. Likewise, MF stands for mezzo forte and means moderately loud. There are also extremes beyond piano and forte. You can have PP, which stands for pianissimo and means very soft. You can even go beyond that and have PPP, which stands for pianissimo and means very, very soft. Likewise, you can have FF, which stands for fortissimo and means very loud. And then you can have FFF, which stands for fortissimo and means very, very loud. So what you see here is the full range of dynamics, from extremely soft to extremely loud. However, in our studies, we'll just focus on piano, mezzo forte, and forte. Just be aware that the others exist, and you'll come across them later if you continue your piano studies beyond this course. In order to change how loudly you are playing, you need to be aware of how quickly and how forcefully you are striking the keys. If you strike a key quickly and with a lot of force, the note will sound loud. However, if you strike a key more slowly and with less force, the note will sound soft. It takes some time to develop this technique and gain control over dynamics, so feel free to pause the video here and practice playing loudly, softly, and in between. So you may be wondering exactly how loud is forte and how soft is piano? Is there some standard that we can refer to? And the answer is no. Dynamics are really just measured relative to each other. All pianos and keyboards play at different volumes, so you just have to get comfortable with your instrument and figure out how loudly and how quietly you can play it, while still playing correctly. And then adjust your pianos and fortes to your instrument. You'll become much more comfortable with figuring out dynamic levels the longer you play, but that is just something for you to think about. So now let's play that first example we did, but this time I'll add in some dynamic symbols. You can see that we now have a piano in the first measure, meaning we will start playing softly. Then, in measure 5, we have a forte, so we will end loudly. Take a look at it, and then we'll play it together twice.
1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, ready, and.
Let's do one more example. You'll see that in this example, we are starting with a forte, so we will begin playing loudly. Then, in the third and fourth measures, we go down to a mezzo forte, so we'll play just a touch softer, but still relatively loud. Then we will end softly, because we are given a piano marking in the last two measures. Let's play it together twice.
1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, ready, and 1.
So in those past two examples, wherever we came across a new dynamic symbol, we sort of jumped from one dynamic level to another. However, in music, sometimes we want to gradually become louder or gradually become softer, and there is a way to symbolize that. They are called crescendos and decrescendos. You can see that they are the same symbol but just point in different directions. Whichever end the open end points to is where the louder level is, and whichever end the closed end points to is the softer level. This is kind of how the greater than and less than symbols work in math. So crescendos start at a softer level and end at a louder level, and decrescendos start at a louder level and end at a softer level. Let's look at some examples written out in music. So here we have a crescendo. Before the crescendo, we are supposed to be playing piano softly, but then throughout the crescendo, we will get gradually louder until we get to the end of it, where we are supposed to be playing forte loudly. Then we'll do the opposite at the decrescendo. Before the decrescendo, we will still be playing loudly. Then throughout the decrescendo, we will get softer until we get to the end of it, and we will play softly again. Let's give it a try.
1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, ready, and.
We'll get more practice with dynamics later on, but now let's move on to learning some more notes. So far, we've learned the notes C through G. However, there are a few notes that we are missing. Above G, we have the note A. Here is A in the treble clef, and here it is in the bass clef. Then, above A, we have B. Here is B in the treble clef, and here it is in the bass clef. Then we start over with C. Here is C in the treble clef and in the bass clef. We then repeat D, E, F, and so on all the way up the piano. You'll see that the notes A through G repeat alphabetically, but it just so happens that here we are starting on the letter C instead of A. Focusing on the notes from C to C, we can put together one full scale, the C scale. Here's the C scale written out. Up until now, we've been playing only notes that fall within the C position, from C to G. But clearly this scale has notes that go beyond this hand position. So now we will learn a special way to play the scale to allow for smooth playing, even though we will have to move the hand. You might be tempted to play the scale like this. You might also be tempted to play it like this. Both of these are incorrect. So now I'll go over the correct way to play the scale. First, let's focus on the right hand. Here's the C scale written out with the fingerings that we'll use. So you can see that we'll place the thumb on C and play 1, 2, 3. But now the music indicates that we need to play the F with our first finger. So now instead of jumping our hand like I showed before, we'll tuck our thumb under the third finger and allow it to play the F. At the same time, we'll bring the rest of the hand over to play the rest of the notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, landing on C. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, tuck under for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To come back down the scale, we'll just reverse it. Start with 5 on C, go down 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll bring the third finger over the thumb to play the E, and the rest of the hand will go down with it. So then finish the scale, 2, 1. Let's try going down one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross over for 3, 2, 1. Now let's try starting at the bottom, going to the top, and playing back down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, tuck under for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then back down, 4, 3, 2, 1, cross over, 3, 2, 1. Now let's look at the left hand. We'll start at the lower C with our fifth finger and go up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll have to bring the third finger over the thumb to play the A. The rest of the hand comes with it, and you can finish the scale. 2, 1. Let's practice that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross over with 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll reverse it to go back down. Start on the higher C with 1. Go down 2, 3. Now we'll have to tuck the thumb under the third finger to play the G. Then finish the scale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's practice that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Tuck under for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's put it together. Play the C scale up, then back down. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross over with 3. Finish 2, 1. Then back down. 2, 3. Tuck under with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you feel comfortable playing the C scale in both hands separately, you can try to play it with both hands at the same time. This can be tricky at first, so make sure you're very comfortable playing them separately and don't be discouraged if you don't get it on the first try. But here's what it would look like. I highly recommend you practice your C skill each time you sit down to practice piano until you are comfortable with it. Then you can start using it as a warm-up exercise. The last thing we'll do is put our new skills together to play one last exercise, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. While this song may seem like a silly nursery rhyme, it originated as a French folk song and was popularized by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who you'll learn more about in this module's history lesson. Let's take a look at the music. So for this song, we're going to break out of our standard C position in order to cover all the notes. Looking at the given fingerings, our first finger in the left hand will be on middle C. That's the only note we're playing with our left hand, so we don't really need to worry about where the rest of our fingers are lining up, but we can just place them on the adjacent keys like this. In the right hand, the first note we play is a G with our fourth finger. This is unusual because up until now we've only been playing Gs with our fifth finger. But if you look through the rest of the treble clef, it shows that our fifth finger will be on an A, our third finger on an F, and our second finger on an E, and our first finger on a D. So our fingers are all still on adjacent keys, but we're just starting one key above the C position. You'll notice we'll also have some dynamic markings to play. We will start at a moderately soft level. Then in the fifth measure, we play loudly at a forte level. Then we will decrescendo through the last four measures and end in a piano. So take a minute to look at the music, try to play through it on your own if you're able to, and then we'll play it together.
1, 2, ready, and. And loud. And soft. Getting quieter. Let's play it one more time. 1, 2, ready, and.
As always, remember to practice the post-video exercises, complete the theory worksheet, and learn a little more about Mozart before moving on to the next module. You can always check out the additional resources I've linked below for more help with understanding dynamics and the techniques used to play the C scale. Bye for now!